I don't know what's scarier, Vecna's plan to take over the world with his army of children, or the fact that we have 2 million pieces of space trash orbiting Earth right now that nobody's doing anything about. That's just what we're doing here at Mikey's Orbital Garbage Project. Just like 11 and her ragtag bandit of hooligans and youngins trying to defeat Vecna, I'm trying to defeat the problem of space trash. Vecna's not even real, and space trash is very,
very real.
I would gladly accept 11's application to the space trash force. Heck, we would be one nosebleed away from collecting that piece of space trash. I would be terrified to meet Vecna in the real world, because his whole move is like showing you your deepest, darkest fear. If Vecna got inside my brain, he would just show me my greatest fear, which is the amount of money it's going to take to collect a piece of space trash. $2 million. And the fact that we currently have none of that. But that can all change overnight with you, the faithful members of the Space Trash Force, doing your part to collect a piece of space trash. Or maybe Vecna, if he dived into my memories and my deepest fears, he'd be like, oh yes, the trauma, the pain, the massive amount of failures this young man has experienced in his mission. So many. Namely that we did not get on Good Morning America or get in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Yeah, we failed. We are negative 6 days away from getting on GMA and the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
We failed.
Oh, did we fail? And Vecna would expose that with his magical, evil powers. Honestly, I think Vecna would love where the space trash is living in low Earth orbit. It's perfect for him. It's spooky. It's quiet. There's no teenagers to thwart his plans by playing Kate Bush running up that hill. Vecna is basically just the personification of space trash. You know, he's ominous. He poses a massive threat to humanity. He floats ominously above us, and nobody is able to stop him. And he's just too powerful to defeat, unless we unleash the 11. What's the 11 version for Mikey's Orbital Garbage Project? I don't know, maybe it's this podcast. Maybe it's this very podcast that propels us into the cultural zeitgeist. Oh, I want to get zeitgeisted into the culture. Not for my own fame, no, just to get that piece of space trash, and we're going to do it. Yes, we will, just like Will Byers, spoiler alert, is going to defeat Vecna with his own special powers. I have my own little special powers that we're going to get into today. It's a weird time in the culture. Stranger Things is out there. Stranger Things are happening in America right now. If you guys are on the Tickety Talk, but there's this new TikTok that is popped up seemingly at a weird time with the timeline of the release of season 5 of Stranger Things. I'm wondering if it's connected. You may have heard of the art teacher Matt Taylor, who looks a lot like the comedian and actor Kevin James, but the internet's saying that's not Kevin James. It's just this art teacher that popped up. Matt Taylor might be the Kevin James from the Upside Down. We don't know if, he's working with children every day. Do we know that that's not, Vecna in the real world posing as, a lookalike of Kevin James?
No.
I think it's just a coincidence. Certainly that's not a conspiracy theory that the internet would support, or would it? Let me know in the comments, in the mints. Drop a mint for me. I'll pick it up and I'll smell it. I'll analyze it. There was this crazy crossover of Matt Taylor, the Kevin James lookalike in Stranger Things. Elle would have this vision of the evil Matt Taylor, and then she'd be like, Papa. She'd be like, Papa boy, Papa, why is Paul Blart dominating my visions? Why is he rolling around on a Segway that's running out of battery? Papa, what's Paul Blart doing in Hawkins, Indiana? I don't know, Elle. I don't know. No, I don't think that. I hope that Matt Taylor is not the Vecna, building his own army of children. But he certainly has Hopper energy. Hopper won't let Elle do anything, even though she's established her power and her dominance over the evil forces terrorizing Hawkins, Indiana. Matt Taylor has got a lot of Hopper energy. You know, he won't let his kids make art without him. You know, he won't let the kids do anything without him. You know, his little... Okay, well, if you're new here, welcome in to Mike Heath's Orbital Garbage Project. And if not, welcome back to the only podcast in the world that is doing something about collecting a piece of space trash, and that's what this podcast is all about. We are capturing the cultural momentum of Stranger Things and Matt Taylor on the TikTok for our purpose of collecting a piece of space trash. I'm Mike Heath, and this is our podcast, our project. Welcome in. Little mission update for you. As we said, we did not get on Go Run America. We did not get the invite. I checked my spam every day, even in the morning of Thanksgiving. I hopped on. I was throwing the ribs and the turkey on the smoker, and I was like, maybe it's just in my spam. No invite, no invite to come down and spread the good news of collecting a piece of space trash. But we carry on. Yes, we carry on. We do need a new goal. I don't know. Do we just set our eyes on next year? Get it on Good Morning America. I think why not? But we do need something. We need a 90-day window. What can we do in the next 90 days? So that would be December, January, February. What can we do in February? Set our eyes on what's the next target for February? Drop a mint. Let me know what we should do right in, to my email at mikeheathcomedy@gmail.com. Let me know if you have suggestions, faithful members of the Space Trash Force or new members. Come on in. Let me know what you think. We had talked about doing the bowling for space trash, which I think is still a fun idea. Maybe that's what we do in February, but we do it here in Seattle in February. What if we do that? The Big Apple, it's too big. It's too big to bite off, what we could do there. I don't know if we could get in there. That'd be awesome to do it. And boy, I've toyed with the idea of going back to collecting a piece of Earth trash every day until I collect a piece of space trash, but it's just so much time to edit those videos. It's not worth it. It's like it's like an addiction. Oh, to get those followers and get the members in. Maybe it's worth it. Maybe I could inspire you. Maybe you have the margin in life right now to do that, to join forces. Let me know. You could become an admiral in the Space Trash Force. If you could do that, you become an admiral. Easy. We currently we have an opening. Actually, if you want to apply, we have an opening for admiral for the Space Trash Force. We could use that. If you have other ideas for what you could do in there, we would love to link arms in this great mission together. I am working on the book, Colleen Goes to Space. Man, I had big plans to hammer it out, over the long weekend and this week, but I just haven't got to it yet. And I dropped the ball. That's another failure that Vecna would expose in my psyche if he got in there. Oh, good thing he's not in there. No, but we're going to do the book, and maybe that would be a good, maybe that's like the release party. What if we did this? Oh, it would be a great this is all coming together in a beautiful Venn diagram, the crossover of Bowling for Space Trash, a local event here in Seattle where we have our most listeners for the podcast, maybe the most faithful members of the Space Trash Force here in Seattle, Washington, where I currently reside. What if it's around Valentine's Day? Maybe we have the release and we have the book there. We get the book done. Colleen Goes to Space, about a lunch lady that saves humanity from space trash. And we drop the book there. And it's like a book signing at a bowling alley. Tell me this. Who has ever done a book signing at a bowling alley? I mean, that is just... And we can finally get some revenue coming in to support our mission. That'd be great. I mean, that might be... Let me know. Write in, drop a mint. Let me know if you support that, if you want to vote on that. Maybe we'll hold a vote over on the Patreon for the inner circle of the Space Trash, those most committed. We'll hold a vote over there. You could drop in other ideas, but we'll do a vote for Bowling for Space Trash sometime around Valentine's Day in February. That's 90 days from now. and we about 90 days from now, and we do the book drop there, calling, and we say we got to get it done. You know, we've put this off for too long. We were too distracted by the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. We got to get in there and let's do that. I think that's what I just want to resolve. I just want to plant my flag in the ground and say, that's what we're doing. Let's do it. Yes, but there's so much discouragement. I mean, we got to get in. We got to get in here, and I don't know, I've been thinking about trying to do more comedy clips, but I suck. So there's no good clips to put out, but I'll put the clips I have out, you know, get the word out there and the comedy arm of our project here. I've had some good shows, some really fun shows recently. I did this, it would have been, since the last podcast, I did this brewery show at this place called Wheelie Pop, somewhere north of Seattle. Mill Creek Wheelie Pop Brewery, and it's just kind of this fun show. It starts with like an improv with the crowd. One of the hosts of the show does some improv with the crowd, and then the host was like, "Who has had, you know, a bad week?" And this guy comes up, and he's like, I got a story. So he comes up on stage and he just starts delving into his life. And I guess he had applied for this job and he had this in with the boss, like the CEO of this company. He had an in there, and he was like in the midst of his like first day. And right before his first day, his boss died. And then he showed up to work and he told the story of his first day at work when everybody was grieving, and he was just so stoked to have this job. And he's like, "Am I still hired?" So I riffed on that a little bit at the opening of my set because I went on right after him. You know, a great way to open the show. And I'll play that clip for you guys right now. Yeah, I always like to start my comedy shows with a nice story of death. That's I find it gets everybody in the mood, you know, to collectively laugh. It's kind of crazy though, because that was like in response to like everybody having a bad week. I'm sure some of us were here like, my boss died. That might be a good week. You know, it's a fun little riff. I think people really liked it in the moment. Maybe that's a little dark, but that's, you know, that's what I was coming up to. You gotta just pivot. You know, you gotta respond to what's happening in the room. I'm responding what's happening to the world, talking about Stranger Things and Matt Taylor. Vecna on Earth. That was a fun show. I really enjoyed that. Monica Nevi was on the show. Hilarious. She headlined. And Robert Pitty was on the show as well. That was a really fun show. Let's see, what else? Oh, and then maybe the next day, I guess, like a Saturday night, I did this bar show at this place called Jersey's down south of Seattle. I was going north and south. I'm traveling all over the greater Seattle area, trying to spread the word about the Orbital Garbage Project by doing stand-up comedy. And there was this heckler in the back of the room and kept heckling the whole show. I'll play a little clip of that moment when he piped up during my set right here.
Is there like a drug donor group for Ozempic reaction?
I don't know. I think it's actually 3 blocks that way, and it's happening right now. So if you want to go check out that meeting, it is, get there now. Go get those drugs away, or just stop talking. You can stay. You can stay if you stop talking. That's what my wife says to me every day, actually. You can stick around, just shut up. And I normally do, and it works out. So try that. And
oh, just shut him down. That was so fun. I think that might be a clip. I think the other one maybe just needs too much, like about the dead boss. I think the dead boss maybe needs too much context. I don't know. I'll look at the clip. Let me know if we should drop that as a clip over on the Insta. But I think the heckler, which is just so, I don't know, I feel weird about posting that. I don't know. But I'm dropping a clip this day. So go on over to the Instagram for my mattress loans joke and drop some love there. Share it on your story. You know, do that. Share this podcast. Text a link to the pod to a friend. Gosh, we have this podcast is growing. Look at this graph here. I mean, just if we look at the last 30 days of play of somebody listening to the pod, not on the YouTube, this doesn't count YouTube. This is just audio only, just for you audio freaks out there pumping it into your ear holes. Look at that. We got to keep that going up. So text a link to this episode from a friend, or maybe your favorite episode from MHogP, and let them know, about what we're doing. Maybe that would interest them. Maybe not. There's so many poddies out there to listen to, and I don't expect everybody to love this podcast. I mean, it's a niche podcast. It's for those who maybe know me personally, maybe don't even care about me personally. They're like, I don't care about Mike 1 cent. Not $1 and not a cent of $1. We don't even have pennies anymore. Like, if I had a penny, they wouldn't even spend their last penny on me. But they care about cleaning up low Earth orbit, and that's what we're all about here. So, golly, that's good. That is good. This podcast is not going as long as I really wanted to hit 30 minutes, but we're like 18 minutes in here. If you're here in the Seattle area, here's the upcoming shows I have that I would love to see you at. At Laughs 4 times this month. I'm at the Wednesday Comedy Mix, December 17th at 8 p.m. Come out to there. I'll be on that show at Laughs Comedy Club. And then I'm back at Laughs the weekend after Christmas. If you're home for the holidays, they got 5 great shows. I'm on 3 of them. We have, this is a ages 10 plus show on Saturday the 27th at 5:30 p.m. So if you got kids, it's going to be a clean show, family-friendly material. And then on Sunday the 28th at 7 p.m., this is a 21 plus show. I'm still going to, have my normal family-ish friendly material there. The Pajama Comedy Jam. We're all wearing pajamas. So get on your normally it's unacceptable. I hate when I'm not one of those people that hates on people whenever they show up, those real popular, and when I was in school, to show up in your PJs, which I hear is coming back, and people are still into that. But wear your nicest pajama. I'm gonna wear my, some flannel pants. I'll probably wear a hoodie. I don't really have a pajama top. Maybe I'll get a pajama top. Or maybe what I'll do is I'll pull a Rodney Dangerfield, and I'm going to wear a robe. Yeah, I'm going to wear a robe on the stage, but I'll have clothes on underneath similar to Rodney, but I will be clothed. So again, that's an adult show, but it won't be that adult, if you know what I mean. All right. And then on December 30th at 6 p.m., we got another family fun show, an early countdown. So this is the day before New Year's Eve at 6 p.m. So kids in 16 and under actually get in free to that show. So New Year kickoff, who dis going to save that money? You and your family coming to that show. And then on New Year's Eve, I'll be over at the Old Stove Ballard location for a New Year's Eve comedy show. And those are my shows for the rest of the year that I know about. Who knows, it may pop up an opportunity and I'll hop onto it like a rabid dog trying to get these new jokes out there. I'm trying to write some jokes for the holidays. I got this joke about, I don't know, do you think is Santa a superhero? And why isn't Santa considered a superhero? He has like magical powers, right? He has powers and he has, sidekicks. He employs a whole race of people, the elves people. I don't know. So I'm trying to write a joke about that. Why Batman used to be my favorite superhero, but why Santa is now. So come out, maybe I've perfected that joke as much as I can by the holidays, or maybe it's going to flop. Either way, I'll be trying it out on these shows post Christmas, but I'll be working on them. If you see me at open mic before, then I'll be working them out. I'm going to go work it out tonight at Nate Jackson Super Funny Comedy Club. By the time you listen to this, I'll already be done there, but I'll be at the Type 5 Tuesday tonight working on my Santa jokes. I hope they love them. I also got a joke about my great grandpa and being poor and living through the Great Depression. Real funny stuff there. I'm trying to make it funny, and how much I spend on my dog now. So those are my jokes I'm working on for the holidays. We're going to stretch this out to half an hour. Can we do it? Let me ask you this. When you were a kid, let's talk about the holidays. Let's talk about Christmas and the holiday season. Maybe you don't celebrate Christmas, an old jolly Saint Nick, but maybe you still give gifts this time of year. Maybe you received gifts when you were a kid. And I want to know, when you were a kid, when your parents, because your parents would inevitably probably buy you presents if you were that privileged before Christmas. And something I did growing up is I would always try to go out and I would snoop around the house, when I was home alone or when my parents were doing something. I'd try to find out where the presents hidden. And this one Christmas, I really wanted this racetrack. This little, I don't know how we'd call it, but it was like the 3 tracks. You get this whole thing. 3 lanes on this track, and you had these like little hand controls to control how fast they go, because you couldn't just hold it down full throttle, like a little throttle handle to control the speed of the car on the racetrack. This is what I wanted, but you couldn't just hold it full throttle, because you'd hit a corner and you'd fly off the track. So you'd have to slow down in the corners and then accelerate on the straights and so forth, and you can kind of race. And I really wanted this racetrack. And I remember I found it. I located it maybe like a week before Christmas, and I knew I got it, but my parents still had wrapped it. It was just hidden in the basement, and I found it. I remember leading up to Christmas, it was eating me away. It was eating at my conscience. I had this guilty conscience. I remember this one day, I was like, I got to tell my mom that I found the racetrack, and I walked up to her and I confessed my sins, my sins against Santa at the time, and told her, and she's like, you're grounded, you're not getting that racetrack anymore. But then it was a Christmas miracle, because I woke up on Christmas morning and there it was. So give it up for moms. Give it up for moms this holiday season, doing the most, for giving their wayward children, for acting a fool. I do think it's a little weird that so Stranger Things is happening. That's cool. We talked about that. I'm glad we did. Glad we talked about that. Boy, I'm really losing steam here, so we're not going to hit the full 30. I'm just going to call it quits, folks. I got other stuff to do. I got to replace the lower control arm on my car. But this is nothing about space trash, and that's all you guys care about. That's what you want to hear about. What are we doing for the project? So I'm going to go out and do that. But thank you guys so much for being a part of our greater mission. We're gonna try to get some interviews, mix it up, trying to mix this thing up on. So we'll release this episode here on Wednesday, and it will drop early on the Patreon. So maybe you saw this earlier on the Patreon. Kudos to you. Thank you for supporting our project of collecting a piece of space trash. If you're listening on the interwebs when it's free for the public, congratulations. I'm happy for you. A great Christmas gift. And you can actually gift a membership to the Space Trash Force if you're looking for a holiday gift. Gosh, I wish we had that book to give to you, but we don't. But here's actually what I thought about doing. And there may not be time for this, but if for some reason I find the emotional bandwidth and the time to do this, but I have this idea of a calendar that maybe we could rep out before the end of the new year, maybe even time for Christmas or just a New Year's gift. I don't know if you guys do that still in America, but I want to do a calendar of every month. It's me recreating a piece of space trash. It's a space trash calendar. Maybe we should get in the calendar game. I don't know. Was that a good idea? Let me know. Let me know in the mints. Drop me an email at mikeheathcomedy@gmail.com. Maybe we'll start a little discussion on the Patreon about which pieces of space trash we should feature in the calendar. Oh, if you have an in with how to get a calendar out, maybe like a print on demand calendar, it might be the easiest. So we don't have to just stockpile a bunch. Maybe people don't care about it. Maybe people care about it a lot. We could create some TikToks promoting it. Oh, that sounds good, doesn't it? Should we get on the calendar game? Okay, we got pretty close to 30 minutes, and I'm so proud of each and every one of us for sticking around. If you stuck around, thank you so much. I believe this to the core of my being, something I always have and always will, no matter what happens, no matter where I am and where I'm going. Together, we will clean up our orbital junkyard. Peace.
Great shot!